As we gather today, let us acknowledge the sacredness of our bodies, vessels that carry our spirits and allow us to experience the world fully. May we honor this gift by tending to our physical well-being, nourishing ourselves with care and mindful action. Steve, sorry, I blanked. Steve will light our chalice this morning.
We all know that look well.
At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lit the flame within us and the community. Before we sing the first hymn, let me remind our remote participants to leave yourselves muted. However, we want you and whoever is with you to sing with us as big and loud as you like. Make it a joyous experience. Please stand in body or spirit and sing the opening hymn, Here on the Paths of Every Day, number 312.
So I wanted to mention before we begin that all three of the hymns this morning are a little less familiar to us. It just kind of worked out that way, and we hope you enjoy them. 1, 2. Here on the paths of every day, here on the common human way, is all the stuff the gods would take to build a heaven to mold and make new Eden's ours, the task sublime to build eternity in time. We need no other stones to build the temple of the unfulfilled, no other ivory for the doors, no other marble for the floors, no other cedar for the beam and dome of our immortal dream.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist community of Cambria. We are so glad you have joined us today. Our UUCC sanctuary sits on land that the Salinan and Chumash indigenous peoples historically inhabited. We honor their contribution to this region and give thanks for the opportunity to gather in faith on their unceded territory. Let us respect their legacy and protect their history as we occupy this sacred space. As Unitarian Universalists, we celebrate religious diversity and welcome all who journey in search of faith and spirituality. The UUCC is a lay-led congregation run by the democratic process. We invite speakers from different religious traditions and spiritual or scientific backgrounds, as well as community leaders to speak at our pulpit. We encourage presentations covering a variety of topics and areas of interest that connect with the UU's 7 principles and 6 values: justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. Today's service centers around the 7th principle. We affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. My name is Catherine Lekich, and I am your worship associate for this morning's service.
Hello.
I would like to extend a special welcome to today's guests and visitors. We're glad you joined us this morning. If you wish, please raise your hand if you would like to introduce yourself or your guest.
Well, Michelle is here.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, dear. All right. If you are not on the mailing list, please visit the UUCC website at uucambria.org so that we can keep you informed about all of our activities. Members and friends, please check out what's happening, the e-blast sent to you every week. This is a great way to keep up to date with our latest news. If you wish to see this or any of the past Zoom services, the recordings can be found on the UUCC website and on Facebook. So again, good morning and welcome to everyone. The affirmation is both a recognition of the nature of this community as well as a promise to which we aspire. Let us now recite the UUC affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. We set aside this time for brief announcements that will be of interest to our community and friends. Please be succinct when announcing upcoming events or dates. If you have an announcement, please raise your hand. When Andy or I call on you, come up to the podium or unmute yourself and then speak. Kathy.
The third Tuesday at 3 game afternoon is canceled for this month, so it will resume in February.
Sue.
We say all, but that's because Dolores is in Mexico. I am beginning again the UUCC plaque program. If you look on your chairs, you can see around you the little plaques that we make in honor or in memory of people, or just with any saying that you would like to put on there. You can see the size and the kind of things that people have done. It's a minimum of a $50 donation to the UUCC, and that money goes directly to us, to the UUCC. And when I get about 10 of them, or maybe a little less, I will take them and get the plaques made and install them. So again, this is the form that's over in the beginning of the sanctuary over there, the entryway. And also we're going to try and post it online so you can print your own at home. So again, the UUCC plaque program, chair plaque program.
Good morning, I'm Andy Fagan. The men's group will meet tomorrow here at the sanctuary at 10 a.m. There'll also be a Zoom link I'll send out for anybody who wants to connect remotely. Thanks. And there's a board meeting tomorrow at 4. Oh, it's at 4 because of the... No, what time is it? 3? Okay, 3 o'clock online. Dolores sent out a link and you can check the newsletter for that as well if anybody wants to observe. And of course, board members, please attend. Thanks. Only on Zoom, no in person.
I have an announcement, and that is it's time to make sure that our website is updated. So if anybody has a section in there that they're in charge of, operations committee meeting, whatever, make sure you tell Lori if there's any changes. Thank you. Andy?
No hands raised here online. Back to you, Kat.
Okay. Next week, Reverend Rod Richards from UU San Luis Obispo will present Self-Blessing. Martin Luther King Jr. Observance, a legacy of equality and justice. Martin Luther King Day is more than a commemoration of a historical figure. It's a celebration of ideals that transcend borders. They include honoring equality and justice. The holiday celebrates his dream of a world where equality and justice prevail, highlighting the interconnected struggles for human rights. Inspiring nonviolence, King's commitment to peaceful protest service serves as a reminder that meaningful change can be achieved without violence. His example continues to inspire movements for justice worldwide. Recognizing shared courage, the bravery of those who escaped slavery and those who assisted them, often at great personal risk, mirrors King's own courage in standing against oppression. Their stories are a testament to the enduring power of resilience and solidarity. teaching future generations. By understanding the history of the Underground Railroad, people can appreciate the global contents of the fight for human rights, fostering a deeper understanding of justice and advocacy. A call to service. Martin Luther King Jr. Day emphasizes the importance of service to others in the spirit of those who helped freedom seekers and those who volunteered alongside King. This day encourages acts of kindness and community building. As we observe Martin Luther King Jr. Day tomorrow, let us honor the legacy of a man who dreamed of a better world and recognized the enduring connection between his vision and the journey towards freedom. Together, we continue his work, building a future defined by justice, compassion, and unity. Joys and Concerns is a time for sharing personal celebrations, sorrows, reflections, or gratitude. This is a time for community building. Please exercise brevity. The collective flames of these candles embody all the joys and concerns which may have gone unspoken today, but are also deeply felt in this community. The first reading is an excerpt from The Spark in the Machine by Dr. Daniel Keown. Fascia creates space in our bodies for the internal chi meridian pathways that connect the internal organs through channels on the arms and legs. These chi pathways of vital force have been known for thousands of years in Chinese medicine. Chi energy enters our bodies with our breath. The meridian pathways are the conduit by which chi moves from the outside to the inside, and why a point on the arm can affect the stomach or kidney. These chi paths become self-evident when you map the pathways of fascia. Fascia is a type of connective tissue that connects organs to muscle, to the spine, to nerves. It surrounds bone and underpins skin. Fascia is everywhere in the body and extremely strong. Fascia is impenetrable to almost all biological substances, and not only is it an electrical conductor and resistor, fascia also generates its own electricity. Please stand in body or spirit and sing The Oneness of Everything, number 1052.
Far beyond the grasp of hands, or light to meet the eye, past the reaches of the mind. There find the key to nature's harmony, in an architecture so entwined. Like the birds whose patterns grace the sky and carry all who join in love expanding, the message of peace will rise in flight, taking the weight of the world upon its wings. In the oneness of everything, peace is in the dance of trees, who stirs before the first breath of wind is yet perceived. Trust in the song becoming one with the dance, and all mysteries can be believed. Songs of life's past us that touch our own are written in the earth, ever giving. And now to maintain the understand and reduce to terms defined. Vast and immeasurable time and space, so overwhelmingly designed. Oh, passing years, just might I know the faith that winters in the heart to be reborn in spring, to hear and to feel the pulse of life enters my soul as a song to sing of the oneness of everything.
The second reading is Space Between the Logs by Tara Brock, a meditation instructor and psychologist. We have an existential hum of fear that is in the background of our daily lives. We have a perception of everything being temporary, that around the corner we face inevitable loss. We will lose our bodies and minds. We will lose others who we love. This apprehension keeps us focused on defending against loss, trying to predict loss, trying in some way to occupy ourselves so we don't have to face the rawness. Our fear keeps us busily filling in the space between the logs. This trance of more to do prevents us from finding the breathing space. It keeps us from the blessings of the sacred presence. When we see this, something deep within us longs to stop. The wisdom guides us to pause and touch the moment, to listen to the wind, to feel the one who is hugging us, to see the light in a dear one's eyes. This wisdom brings us to the simplicity of inflow and outflow of breath. It calls to us lovingly. Stop and come home. Find in the space between the logs the light that is your source.
Fire by Judy Brown. What makes a fire burn is the space between the logs, a breathing space. Too much of a good thing, too many logs packed in too tight can douse the flames almost as surely as a pail of water. So building fires requires attention to the spaces in between, as much as to the wood. Let us enter the stillness. Light shine in, illuminate our inward view, help us to see with clarity, shine bright and true so we may join our songs in new sounds that become full symphony. Today's talk is entitled Web of Life, to be delivered by Julia Stanert. Julia's life from the age of 0 to 50 is certainly interesting, but neither here nor there at this point. What is remarkable is that everything led her to be here with all of you wonderful UU friends at this moment. From age 30 to 50, the demands of motherhood, wife, homemaker, and breadwinner, all with trying to be nice about it, as with most women in her position, was a heavy burden with no relief in sight. Julia's mother, who herself had carried a heavy load in her time, gave her some sage advice that stuck with her during those tough years. Just wait until you're 50 years old. That's when your life will begin. At age 45, she stumbled upon Hearst Castle in Cambria. Standing by the Neptune pool while the tour guide told her that the night before he was swimming in the pool, her life mission became swimming in the Neptune pool. She thought in about 10 years, when her 2 boys became self-sufficient adults, she would move to Cambria and become a tour guide so that she could swim in the pool. A few years later, Julia decided to become a living history docent at the castle to get her foot in the door. This also gave her an excuse to visit Cambria and hang out at the castle several times a year. After a few months of volunteering, she was told that volunteers and 3 friends or family members could jump in the pool every September. On her 50th birthday, Julia, including me and 2 other friends, jumped in the pool, and her new life began. Julia.
Yes. I'm glad you enjoyed that. So, thank you, Kat. You were excellent. Thank you. And thank you to the worship committee for helping me put this together. So a couple of months ago, I decided to take a class at Viana Wellness Collective on Burton, across from Robin's Restaurant. For well over a year, I had been enjoying their full spectrum saunas about once a week. Actually, enjoying is not accurate. I'd say tolerating. The best part is walking into Viana. I love the atmosphere. It's a uplifting tonic for me. So after about 45 minutes in the sauna, if I can last that long, I get to cool down with icy cold peppermint washcloths. There are health benefits to the saunas, but I mostly just like to be there. So upstairs at Viana, there's a spacious studio with dark wood floors and lots of windows for various bodywork classes. And sometimes when I was in the sauna, I would hear laughter and enjoyment going on up there. Intrigued and longing to go hang out in the room upstairs with some fun, hip, cool Viana students, I ventured to look at the class schedule, and the only class offered in the evenings and Saturdays when my work schedule would allow was fascia flossing. Fascia flossing. I did not know what flossing was at the time. Teresa Clevenger, the flossing instructor, has in-depth knowledge of anatomy, our muscles, our nerves, our bone structure, and organs, along with traditional Chinese medicine, Chi energy meridians. And Teresa makes it all fun. I learned that fascia not only holds us together, healthy, supple fascia improves our health and comfort, and healthy fascia creates space in our bodies for the good Qi energy to flow through. The concept of space in our bodies has previously eluded me. When attempting to meditate, I've been told to focus on the space in my body. I did not understand what that meant, but I just kept trying. The process of learning about fascia has given me a new way of thinking about space. I believe that there is a spiritual connection with fascia and space in our bodies. Before each class, Teresa gives a brief talk to focus on the intention of the day's flossing. To set the mood, I will read Teresa's intentions from last Saturday. And then after Teresa's talk, which sometimes is quite brief, this one's a little longer, we do like 10 to 12 flossing exercises on mats and with blocks and sometimes up against the wall, various things. So Teresa's talk from last Saturday, Kidneys are similar to batteries. The right kidney holds the yang energy, and the left kidney holds the yin energy. Kidneys play a vital role in our energy levels as they store the essence known as qi. In traditional Chinese medicine, the element associated to the winter season is water. And just each season has a different element. So I don't know what the other ones are, but we're in water now. Kidneys' element is water and relates to the emotion of fear. And standing by water teaches us the flow and faith in life's natural timing. As we transition into the new calendar year and deeper into the season of stillness, we are invited towards a gentle recalibration. We are constantly processing sensations, emotions, thoughts, and environmental stimuli without pauses to digest the experiences. This becomes an internal debris that lingers and manifests as tension and fatigue and emotional weight. Surrendering to winter's quiet and reflection and gentle movement can lead to freedom and spaciousness in our tissues. That's the end of Teresa's talk. My presentation is based on a transcribed talk given at Viana a few years ago. I didn't listen to the talk, I hadn't been going there yet. And I changed the transcription around to go with the slides that I have chosen. And so we're going to begin now. Creatures engaging in fascia flossing. In the animal kingdom, fascia flossing is described as pandiculation. Animals instinctively take care of their fascia by routinely pandiculating. Pandiculation is the same as fascia flossing, contracting, resisting, elongating the trunk and extremities. Dr. Gimberto, observed fascia via endoscope with both passive movement, which would just be like, stretching, and fascia flossing, which is much more engaged, and I'll show you a little later. He found that fascia transformation, he found fascia transformation when fascia flossing occurred. When they observed the same fascia flossing subject the next day, the cleaning up of scar tissue debris was even more prevalent. When you floss, you are giving your body a pathway to heal. We are self-formed and we have the same baseline healing capabilities, meaning we can regenerate our fascia. Oops. What is fascia? Fascia is a communication system and space maker for the qi pathways. It's an electrical conductor and resistor. It's self-forming and self-supporting, and it's basically in our bodies. It's tension, compression, and suspension. Referring back to the previous reading that Kat did, Spark in the Machine, fascia is described as the connective tissue that connects organs to muscle, to spine, to nerves. It surrounds bones and underpins skin. Fascia is everywhere in the body and extremely strong. What if fascia is intelligence? New research is pointing in that direction. There is a lot going on in the body that messages and transfers information without the nervous system. Fascia can transfer information via frequency at the speed of light. And that is much faster than muscles contracting, and that information goes to your brain, and your brain says, I want to pick up the glass. When you're picking up a massive rock, let's say, there are sources distributed throughout your fascia, and these sources are messaging to tell your whole body to work as a unit. This unifying unit is fascia. Fascia has been discarded as mere packaging for centuries, and we are barely getting caught up now. Imagine our bodies as a wetsuit. The muscles, bones, blood, and organs are blobs. Fascia inflates the wetsuit to compress and hold everything in place. Fascia is the great connector and space maker. Without the tension, suspension, and compression network of our wetsuit, it would not be inflated. There wouldn't be any space for blood and to flow and organs to hang out. And bones, what do? Do they touch or don't touch? They don't touch. If they do, we have arthritis. They float in space. Bones are poles and meet in pockets. What is around the pocket? Fabric of fascia. Fascia creates the strings, the fabric, and the tension so our bones stay up. Until recently, it was believed that the muscles and bones held us up. This misinformation gave us the wrong idea about our bodies. There is a whole new way of looking at our bodies through fascia. It is exciting because because we are impacting fascia, the thing that touches everything and holds us up, makes space and connects us to the chi energy, then we have a chance at total health. Thank you. I know it's a little long, but what is fascia flossing? Exfoliating debris from your connective tissue. Fascia flossing is a dynamic way to stretch and rejuvenate your connective tissue from the inside out. It's active, it's engaged, it's mindful, it's connected. Flossing moves stagnant fluid and toxins that are stuck in the tissues and internally exfoliates, giving a renewed, spacious feeling. Areas of the body that feel painful, stagnant, or stuck are most likely where your fascia is thickened, hardened, and has become dry. Other terms for flossing: engaged elongation, eccentric contraction, contract, resist, pull, and my favorite, pandiculation. Muscles don't exist without fascia. Over time, and for many different reasons, our fascia becomes dry and hard rather than supple. Problematic regions have adhesions and scar tissues. I'm going to demonstrate now. My fingers are interlocked, and I'm going to press my fingers closer together and create a contraction to contract them. And then I'm going to resist as I try to pull them apart. So you resist, but you also let the pull happen. And it's the resistance and the contraction that break up the fibers. So it's an applied force, and it helps reorganize the fascia fibers. Old fibers that are not serving us are removed, and these bits and pieces of old fiber go into our elimination system in various ways. With flossing, the body can rid itself of chemicals from strong emotions and general toxicity. The water in our body forms emotional forces and affects the fluids in the fascial system. Flossing is an eccentric contraction plus elongation, or pandiculation. Animals stretching like downward dog, upward dog, just like the animals do it. Pandiculation is a yank, a slide, and a glide. They leverage, contract, and elongate. Flossing is an instructional way to rejuvenate fascia tissue. So I'm going to demonstrate again. So a lot of the flossing that I do in the class involves, hamstrings and thighs and different things. I'm just demonstrating because all you can see is my arms. So I would contract my bicep, and I would also kind of include my shoulder in back here and contract that. And then with my left arm, I would grab. And then again, you're going to resist as you pull. And so you resist, but then you let it pull. And you can do that 10 or 20 or 100 times. Teresa likes to do it 100 times, but we won't let her. And also another thing, she calls it picking up other fibers, is you can, lean in and pull your neck with it as well, and just to engage it. And you can feel it with a contraction. So. These are various. I've never done that, so don't worry about that. But maybe someday I will. What are flossa benefits? Increased elasticity, pliability. Flossing increases mobility without overstretching. Overstretching can actually harm fascia. So passive stretching does nothing, but overstretching, like in just stretching too much like athletes do and that sort of thing, can harm the fascia. We can impact tendinitis, ankle and neck issues, knees, sciatic nerve, and back problems. All these areas and more can be improved with flossing, as well as a full upgrade in our hormonal system, digestion, immunity, and create a notch up in total health. Flossing opens the space for the chi energy meridian pathways, which balances everything out with chi's vital force energy. Okay, get ready. This is little, okay. There's your fascia. Fascia is defined as an innervated, continuous functional organ of stability and motion that is formed by a 3D collagen matrix. Fascia's composition is variable as it forms an interwoven silk-like web morphine from dense sheets to spindly fibers. It's 90% collagen with elastin and mineral-based material. Fascia strands are triple helix, which I'm not sure what that means, but it's strong, with the ability to resist tension. Individual fascia fibers are stronger than steel by weight. So if we are passively stretching, are we going to change our fibers that are as strong as steel by weight? Passive stretching does not benefit fascia. Overstretching damages fascia. As this slideshow shows, there's different kinds of fascia. Muscles and organs and bones and underpinning the skin all have different types. The fascia under the skin is very fine, it's the spindliest. And it's around all our organs, all our bones. It's inside our muscles. It's around our blood vessels. It's everywhere. Fascia is a fluid distribution system. When it gets dry, and it gets dry and brittle as we age, it does not hold as much fluid. When doing fascial work, fascia becomes healthy, hydrated, elastic, pliable, and a more functional tissue. If we vacuumed out everything in our bodies besides fascia, standing there would be a ghost-like replica, unique to the individual. Injuries showing a unique distribution of fascia. Emotional trauma can show in the tissues. Fascia's job is to be adapting. Fascia molds to your body, to sitting at a computer for long periods of time, so when you get up, you're stiff. From the fascia molding to keep you in place. Repetitive movements and overuse of muscles and joints cause your fascia to adapt to your needs. Fascia is like a reset, flossing is like a reset button to adapt back to your original organic state with flexible, supple, hydrated, healthy fascia. And now I have a video of, it's hard to describe, an illustration of fascia. So we'll go with that.
So the good news is that fascia can give people like that a way out. And right now, I'm going to give you that visual demonstration that I promised in order to make sense of all of this, so you can understand how it's affecting you right now. So allow me to introduce my colleague, Cody Williams, who is a structural therapist at Sterling Structural Therapy. But today, good, please giggle and whistle, for the love of, yes, good. Today, Cody is Monsieur Fascia, okay? And I'm going to torture him and give him all sorts of fascial restrictions. Now, before I do, Cody's fascia suit is healthy. And notice the cobwebs, right? They're doing well, right? So he can lift his arms, he can move, he can go hike, he can go play tennis, he can do it, he can tie his shoes, no pain, okay? No problem. I'm about to change that. So I'm gonna give Cody a myofascial restriction at his right rib cage and armpit. And if you can already see, he's already having to adapt a little bit against this. Good. So now, Cody, go ahead and try to lift both arms up for me. And we're gonna just, woo, good. Okay, so can you see that his range of motion is restricted right now? Really try to lift them up higher, Cody. Okay, now, drop them back down, because ow, that's not fun. Now, this makes sense, right? You can imagine how this is gonna create this restriction. Did you notice what happened at his left shoulder over here? Yeah? So go ahead, lift both of them again. A fascial restriction here is causing some serious range of motion issues over here. Now let's drop that down, and I'm gonna give him a fascial release and fix him up, and now, woohoo, yeah. Did you notice him kind of move his neck? That is not comfortable in the neck either. Just gonna give you a brief example. A client that came to see us, fully torn rotator cuff. The surgeon said, sorry, can't repair it, fully torn. She now has that full range of motion and no more pain because we actually helped her modify her fascial restriction, and she changed certain habits to not recreate it. So it's actually incredibly adaptive, okay? Your body is incredibly adaptive. It does not rely on just one small little muscle, and there are even 4 little rotator cuff muscles if you create balance elsewhere. I'm going to give another example, torture Cody some more, and this is a bit more of a complex example. So I'm going to give Cody a pretty severe myofascial restriction at his right hip. Good. Now, first of all, can you see how Cody has started to kind of develop some interesting posture? Good. Cody, try to lift your arms for me, please. See where the restriction is? It's even worse than before, by the way. Did you notice that? And then drop the arms back down. Now, Cody's going to attempt to walk with this myofascial restriction. So we're going to go for a little walk. And he's going to walk a little bit interestingly, right? Okay? And we're going to back it up so we don't fall on Dr. Rob. Good. Okay? So what I want you to see is that, first of all, you already saw how this affects his shoulders. Think about his neck. Can you imagine what might be happening at this hip over here? How that might be compensating and actually wearing on things, maybe even wearing cartilage from the position? Of course, this hip is probably not very happy, and this knee could have serious problems. With this pattern, Cody can have plantar fasciitis on his left foot because it has to deal with severe loads and modified impact with every step to try to stabilize him. This is the interesting with fascia, where you think it is, it ain't, okay? And the other point is, can you imagine his lumbar spine? I dare anyone to go for a walk with this. Half an hour. Tell me how your back feels. Okay? So I'll set Cody free, proverbially and literally. Thank you, Cody. Everybody please give him a hand for being tortured. Okay.
As for my personal experience with fascia flossing, my first class was back in August. My attendance was hit and miss with my work schedule. Even with my inconsistent attendance, a change in how I feel is noticeable. I don't feel stiff. I don't have isolated muscle strain from exercising and from window cleaning. It feels like my muscles are working in a more balanced unison. What I find challenging about flossing is the resistance part of the program regimen. You need to resist the elongation, which means you have to resist yourself, which is an interesting separation of functions in my mind, at least, but I'm getting the hang of it. I've learned so much more than I previously knew in preparation for this talk. And if you care to learn more, I can recommend books or YouTube videos, or you could join me in class. I hope you've enjoyed and benefited from my talk, and thank you. Thank you.
The morning offering, by the way, thank you, Julia. Well done. The morning offering will now be given and received. Please remember, we are a self-sustaining congregation and provide all financial resources for our many ministries. We recognize the spiritual value of generosity and invite you to participate. If you are viewing this service remotely, please use one of the methods shown on the screen. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Our thanks for all gifts given and received for the work of this community. Thank you. Please stand in body or spirit and sing the closing hymn, Tradition Held Fast, number 316.
Tradition held fast through varied time and place, the raising of voices, the touching of hands, circle of spirit, council of grace, all faith finds expression across countless lands, free from the worldly burdens that we bear, released in this time of forgiving, healing, sharing, lifted by the power of our communion, held in the warmth of a common caring. Now through we turn to separate lives renewed. Our circle of peace will not break as we part. Though form is gone as we conclude, through us will it open to every fate of life and every open heart.
Be seated. As we prepare to extinguish the chalice, let us recite the valediction. The flame of this chalice will no longer burn. We have basked in the warmth and beauty of this flame and this community. As the chalice flame is extinguished, we shall carry its glow onward. Let us kindle new sparks within these walls and beyond. Now let's form a circle and join hands.
All right, thank you again, everybody. I'm going to read the fire poem again. What makes a fire burn is the space between the logs, a breathing space. Too much of a good thing, too many logs packed in too tight, can douse the flames almost as surely as a pail of water would. So building fires requires attention to the spaces in between as much as to the wood.
Nice job.